applying for many of those senior positions that were published on the social media and elsewhere out there on the popular media. But you might be interested. Well, here's the opportunity for you to get a little bit more insight on how to go about applying for one of those positions that you might probably be ready for. And so, my guest this afternoon is our Chief Education Officer. Many of you know him, many of you might not know him. I want to introduce you to Mr. Saddam Hussain. Recently, he was appointed as our Chief Education Officer. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Hussain. How are you doing today?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Souza. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for having me on radio to discuss some very, very important issues this afternoon. I'm very happy and pleased to be here.
Right, so I'm very much pleased that you could also make it. We know that you have a very busy schedule, but the mere fact that you are able to join us today is telling us that what we're going to be discussing is something very, very important. And so, as I would have notified our audience, our listeners earlier on, we will be talking about the Teaching Service Commission's online application process. We all know that sometime last week, the list of positions were published along with the criteria. And so we're going to be going through a little bit. We're going to be talking to our listeners out there, of course, about how they can possibly apply for any of the positions. We will be taking a look also at some of the positions that are available in the Hinterland regions. And by the way, our program is called Hinterland Spotlight. And so, not to be biased or anything, but at this point, in this afternoon, we'll be focusing mainly on what is happening out there in the hinterland and how those persons who are interested in regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 and in the riverine areas can also, how they can get on to register, not to register, but to actually apply online. We also have persons from Teaching Service Commissions who are listening to the program live as well. And if we are not able to answer any of the questions, I'm certain that we can forward our questions to them, who I'm certain will be more than willing to help us this afternoon. We will be sharing some numbers with you a little later in the program also, so I'll ask our CEO when the time comes to share those numbers with you. Those are what we call our helpers. All right, so you will see that coming up very soon. All right, so I want us to start by looking at the actual time frame for application. We know that based on what was published, that the deadline for the closing date actually for the online applications is on March the 8th, 2023. I don't think we have had any changes to that, have we, Chief? That still remains?
That remains the same.
Oh, wonderful. So we just have a couple of days actually. We are already at the end of, we can say at the end of February. So for those persons who have not yet applied, you have a very short window to do so, March 8th, 2023. All right, so this afternoon, actually, I was in the office and someone called from one of the hinterland regions. And we were talking about the availability of internet and how is it that they can apply if they are interested in one of the positions. I was told by that individual that they actually have good internet in their village, and that they can try to apply from the very village. But their problem was they were not quite sure how to get it done on their cell phone. So I was telling them that we can actually apply from our computer, from a laptop. Even if we do not have, let us say, an eGov system or a broadband satellite kind of Wi-Fi, we can use our very cell phones, our smartphones, to create a hotspot so that our computer can be connected. And it's very, very much easy when you have that computer connected through the hotspot from your phone. And so I want to quickly go through that process. I know that you may not get it even as I speak, but I'll try to go through that process with you, so persons who have never opened a hotspot and connect their computer, their cell phone to their computer, I can tell you how you can do that. So if you maybe have something to make some notes, I will be taking you through a crash course of how to create a hotspot for your computer so that your computer goes online. So here it goes. For those of you who are joining us online, we are also broadcasting live on EduFM, on the EduFM's page. And so if you are looking at us maybe, but you've never had the opportunity of creating that hotspot, all you got to do is if you have your smartphone that has internet, that has data, when you slide it down from top to bottom, you slide down the screen from top to bottom, you will see an icon on that screen that says mobile hotspot. So for those of you who can see, this is what, when you slide down the screen, this is what it will look like. You will find one of the icons that says mobile hotspot. You will have to turn that on to turn on the hotspot on your phone. So all you have to do is click on a little icon to turn it on. It will change color. On my phone, it changes to green, which is telling me that my mobile hotspot is now active. So I can actually feed anyone, any computer that is around me, or any cell phone that is around me that does not have internet. They can connect from my phone. It now acts as a hotspot. But the second thing you have to do, is now click at the bottom of that little icon that says mobile hotspot, and you will see the network name will turn up along with the password. Now, this is very important because what you see here, the network name and the password, is what you will now have to use on your computer. So now that we have opened the mobile hotspot on our cell phone, we can then connect our laptop. So you have your laptop open. At the bottom on the taskbar, at the bottom of the laptop, you will see a number of icons would also be at the bottom there, on that little bar at the bottom. You will be looking for an icon that tells you, that shows you internet access. As you roll your mouse over those icons at the bottom, you will see one that says internet access unavailable. In your case, if it's not turned on, you will see unavailable. All you have to do is click on that icon. When you click on that icon, you will now be able to turn on your Wi-Fi on your computer. So you're turning on the Wi-Fi on your computer to now link with your cell phone, the hotspot on your cell phone. And remember, I told you that the password and the network name was important. You will now have to match that on the computer with what's on your cell phone. So maybe you might want to write down the password from your phone so that you can connect on your computer. Simply follow the instructions, right? You can simply follow the instructions. It's very, very easy to do. Once you do that, your computer goes live. Your computer is now using the internet from your phone. And so you have a live device. You have a live computer. And now you're ready to apply online. You are ready to apply to TSC's online portal. If you have not done so as yet, if you have not gone online to see where do I apply, you can make a note of this. Simply type into your Google search bar or whichever search engine you're using. If you type in www.tscapply, again, www.tscapply.gov.gy, it takes you right to that page. So you actually get into that portal. When you click on this, you get into the portal right away. It's that easy. It's not anything big and fancy. You go there. You will find when you open the window, when the internet works, you get onto that window. You will look for something that says senior positions. All right, so you will click on senior positions. You will see a little dot, a little round dot on that window that says apply for senior vacancy. Apply for senior vacancy. You will find that on screen, and you simply go to something that says open form. When you go to open form, voila, the world is now open to you. This is your opportunity now to become a senior teacher, an SM, head of department, a deputy HM, or a head teacher. And that's all it takes. All right, so I myself have not gone into any detail when to go past that open form stage, but I've been getting some feedback from persons out in the hinterland who would have had maybe a challenge or two with getting past a certain level. But the feedback I've been getting is that it's quite simple, it's quite easy to follow. So it's not anything too big and fancy. Once you get online, don't be afraid of the computer. Just go in, follow the instructions, and you can actually, start almost immediately. And so at this stage, I want to take you through some of the criteria. I'll take you through some of the criteria. I think what is important for you is that you would have to read it thoroughly. You would have to read the criteria thoroughly before you even start to apply. And the reason for that is we recognize that the hinterland is starved for internet. You know, at many villages, you do not have proper internet, or in some cases, many cases, you even lack internet. And so we don't want you to come out to an internet site. Maybe you might probably travel for an hour or more to get to an internet site. And when you get there, you realize that you cannot get past a certain level because you do not meet the requirements. And so the first thing to do is to read the criteria very, very carefully. And so I'm going to quickly look at some of the criteria. I want us to start by looking at the nursery schools. All right, the nursery schools. We have in the hinterland, if I can look at the list of vacancies, let me see if there's any head teacher for an A grade school. I don't see any A grade school with a vacancy. Just give me a second. Let me pull my screen over. So it seems as though we do not have any HM position for a grade A school in the hinterland for nursery school. So I will not go through the requirements for that. I think, let me see, we may have for a grade B school, grade B, grade C. Let us look at a grade C. And so we can look at the requirements for HM of a grade C nursery school. And so the requirement, the criteria for the position of HM grade C nursery. A, this individual must be the head of a grade D nursery school with at least 2 years of experience as such. And so basically you're dropping a level lower. So if you were the HM of a grade D school for at least 2 years, then it makes you eligible to apply for the position of a grade C nursery HM, grade C nursery HM. If you were a senior master or a mistress of a nursery school with at least 3 years of experience, you also qualify to apply for the position of a HM of a grade C nursery. If you are a senior assistant master or mistress of a nursery school with at least 2 years of experience as such, you can also apply for the position of the HM of a grade C nursery school. We know that in the hinterland, CEO, many of these nursery schools that we have are very small. And so what we find is that we have quite a number of grade D, which happens to be the smallest of our nursery schools in terms of size. And so we do, as I look at the list, I can see that we have quite a number of grade D nursery schools actually published. And looking at the regions, the spread, I'm seeing that we have quite a number in Region 9, for example. We have some nursery schools in Region 9, and we'll be going through that list a little later on. So for the HM, the criteria for the HM of a grade D nursery school, actually it's very easy to be a grade D nursery school HM. One must be a senior assistant master or mistress of a nursery school, a senior master or senior mistress of a primary school with early childhood training, and 2 continuous years of service at the nursery level. And so that is a stepping stone. That is how someone can get into being a senior teacher. Right. Very easy to become a grade D nursery teacher. We have many SAMs, what we call SAMs out there. So SAMs, you can apply for the HM of a grade D school. Pull up that list and you will see where the schools are. And feel free to go ahead. You may very well qualify. And so that is the HM of a grade C and grade D, the criteria for the HM of a grade C and grade D school. Senior master, senior mistress, to be as SM of a nursery school, all you really need is to be a trained early childhood teacher with at least 4 years of post training experience, of which at least 2 years must have been in a nursery school or in the nursery class of a primary school. In terms of SM position at a nursery school, I am going to quickly go through that list so persons would know if they can apply at one of those nursery schools to be an SM. Quickly, let us look at the primary schools. I do not see any vacancy for a grade A school in the Hinterland, a primary grade A primary school, so we will not go through that. I'm seeing a number of grade C, grade D, and the grade E schools. So we will be looking at that. So let us look at a grade C primary HM. If you want to be the HM of a grade C primary school, um, one must be the head of a grade D primary school with at least 2 years of experience as such. That's the first criteria to be the HM of a grade C school. You must be the HM of a grade D with at least 2 years of experience. Or a DHM, deputy head of a grade A school and a grade B school with at least 2 years of experience. So to be a grade CHM, if you were a DHM of a grade A or grade B primary, you're qualified, you can apply. If you were the head teacher of a grade E school with 3 years experience as such, or a senior master of a primary school with at least 3 years of experience, you can also apply for the position of a grade C primary head teacher. Getting down to the smaller schools, HM of a grade D primary school. The criteria, one could be the head of a grade E primary school with at least 2 years of experience as such, or a senior master or senior mistress of a primary school with at least 2 years of experience as such. All right, so it's getting much easier to become the head teacher of a grade D school in terms of the criteria set. And then we have the smaller schools, and we have many. Looking at the list, I can see many grade E schools that do not have head teachers. And so to be the HM of a grade E primary school, one must be a senior master or senior mistress of a primary school, trained teacher with at least 6 years of post-training experience, of which at least 2 years must have been in a primary school. And so, Chief, when we look at the list, we see that quite a number of primary schools are grade E schools that have vacancies that exist for the head teacher position. And looking at the criteria, we see that the least criteria here is a trained teacher with at least 6 years of post training experience. And so it is very simple, it's very easy. Someone can actually, many persons should apply.
Absolutely. We
So,
want to encourage as many persons as possible to apply. The system is very simple. And we want to, one of the things about the vacancies in the past has been that we've had lots of vacancies published, but the appointment rate has been very low. And so we want to encourage all teachers who are eligible to apply.
so true, so true. Right. So, and this is where they start. I mean, for someone to be a school manager, a leader, this is where they start the HM of the smallest grade school, and then they eventually make their way up because if they were listening, they were following, they would have seen that the higher you go, one of the requirements would have been, or a criteria would have been the HM of a lower level school. So this is where you begin your journey to becoming a head teacher, maybe later on of a grade A primary school.
Or, Marty, as they do as you become the head teacher, you become a district education officer, and then, of
So
course, you
true.
become the deputy chief.
So true. So true. I
Absolutely.
fully agree
So,
with you.
right away.
Right. So, looking at the list, I'm also seeing that we have some positions for grade C, HM. I'm trying to see if we have any deputies. We have Saint Nicholas. I'm seeing Saint Nicholas, the position for a deputy, and so I will read for you the position, the criteria for DHM of a grade B primary school. Let me just
Not a lot
verify.
of those.
Yeah, we would not have a lot of those. DHM, okay, we don't really have much of those. Santa Rosa Primary, there we go. Grade B, Santa Rosa Primary has a vacancy for a deputy head teacher. And so, for those persons who may wish to apply for a DHM at Santa Rosa Primary, which is a grade B school, the criteria is a graduate head of a grade C primary school. That's the first one. Or graduate head of a grade D primary school with at least 2 years of experience, or graduate head of a grade E primary school, a graduate SM of a primary school, and a trained graduate head of department in primary schools with at least 3 years of experience as such. And so I think this one here has so many ways that you can become actually a deputy of a grade B,
Right.
with the lowest level being senior. It says a trained grad, head of department, or a graduate SM. So one must be an SM, a graduate SM, before they can before they can know that they would qualify actually to apply even for the deputy position of grade B. In this case,
Absolutely.
Santa Rosa
Yes.
Primary School. So SM. Okay, so we have one more position at the primary level, the SM. In order to apply for that position, one must be a trained teacher with at least 4 years of post training experience, of which at least two must have been in the primary school. So, once more, to be an SM of a primary school, I'm seeing right now, I'm putting my eye on one school in particular. There's Warmori Primary. There is a position for an SM. And the chief, I will give you in a moment. Warmori is a primary top,
Right.
and I would want you to talk a little bit about what is new in this round of appointments or promotions. That is for the HODs at the primary top. So we will get to that shortly. And so, trained teachers with at least 4 years of post training experience, of which two must have been in a primary school, would make them eligible for make them eligible for the post of SM. All right, so those were some of the criteria. Um, those were the criteria for persons who were interested or who are interested in applying for those schools in the hinterland. And so, Chief, I want you to just shed some light on what are some of those changes. As I said, what is different this year, especially with regard to our primary top. So you can tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So the thing about it is that there was a system where the teachers who are in the primary tops, and we have, of course, many of those primary tops in the hinterland regions, those teachers were not eligible for promotion because they were a part of the primary school,
Mm-hmm.
but they could not move into the secondary school. And so what we have done is to include primary tops in the secondary movement. So if you're teaching in a primary top, what happens is that you could actually apply for a head of department's position in a discrete secondary school. Or the second new thing which we have done is to also put heads of department in those very large primary tops. If I'm not mistaken, is Waramuri one of those large?
Yes,
Yes.
Warmori
So
Primary, yes.
Waramuri will now have heads of department, and so eligible teachers can apply for those positions. So there are two new things here: the fact that primary top teachers could actually apply to discrete secondary schools, and also that uh, primary tops themselves will get heads of department, and we're very pleased about this. Ideally, it's not that we would like to see primary tops continue. I'm sure before the end of the year there will be significant reduction in the number of primary tops. But if we have a primary top, it must be managed properly and efficiently, and so we think that adding the middle managers will help this process.
Definitely. And, Chief, even as we head towards universal secondary education, this is where we begin, because in future we have plans
Yeah.
of converting, well, eventually achieving 100% coverage of secondary education. And Waramuri Primary Top is one of those schools that we have in mind to convert into an actual secondary school into the future, sometime into the future. And so I'm looking at the list of vacancies, and I'm seeing that we also have another primary top where vacancies exist is Wakapau. Wakapau, that is a secondary. Okay, so there's another one,
I think we will have
Quebana.
it, right?
Yeah, that's Quebana.
Right.
So we have another one at Quebana. So persons can apply. It's also the vacancies are also published for HODs at the Quebana primary top. So that is another that I can look at almost right away to see what's available. But another important point to note also is that even though persons from out of the village may be interested, I think what they should pay attention to is that part that says HA
Right.
and NHA, because that's very important. If a school publishes HA, HODH, it's telling us that a house is available.
Right.
But if we see a position advertised but it says NHA, then it's no housing available. And very often persons would apply for positions without really paying attention to that little class there, no housing available.
Right.
And when they do get a position, then they realize that, no house was available. And so, even as persons apply for positions, they should be paying attention to whether accommodation exists at the moment or if it doesn't. So, we'll take a look at quickly what are some of those schools that have vacancies. So, if persons who are listening in, whether they are listening from Region 8, some village in Region 8, Region 1, Region 7, or Region 9, and for some reason or the other, they may not have seen a newspaper or have not had the opportunity to go actually on the internet, but they're listening to Edu FM. I can tell you that some of these schools quickly. We'll start from Region 1. There is Sibai. Sibai in the Mabaruma sub-region. There's a position available for SM. So eligible persons can apply for SM at Sibai Primary. And I see here also that it says housing is available. So that's an opportunity for someone to apply to that school. Baramita Primary in Region 1 also it has the position available for head teacher. So interested persons can apply and housing is available. So it might be a good opportunity for someone to upgrade, serve the community. 4 Miles Nursery, we're looking at the nursery school, 4 Miles Nursery and Canal Bank Nursery. The position for head teacher is advertised. However, no housing is available at the moment at those two schools. So persons who are applying should bear that in mind. So we're now looking at Arakaka. Arakaka Primary has a position for head teacher. All right, so head teacher position is available at Arakaka. And we have some small schools, grade E schools in Region 1 like Chinese Landing, Kariako are available. We have, that's from HM. We also have Kukurit Primary. We have Kariako Primary. But of those schools that I just called, the only one that actually has a house available is, and I didn't call this one actually, it's St. Bede's Primary in Waikaribi Village in Region Number 1. That is up the Barama River, actually. We have at Waramuri, we mentioned that we have position for
Right.
SM and head of departments. Head of departments actually for quite a number of subject areas were published. So we have HODs for English, Math, Social Studies, Science, Agri, Allied Arts, and Business. However, no housing is available. So just to bear that in mind. To look at the grade C and D schools, St. Nicholas has the position for HM and the DHM available. So that is something to consider. Persons who might be interested. However, I'm seeing here that accommodation is not available at this time. Housing is available, however, in Santa Cruz, which is a grade D school. We also have Santa Rosa Nursery. I think I mentioned that. There's a position for head teacher at Santa Rosa Nursery. No housing is available, however, at Santa Rosa Nursery. At the primary school, which is one of the bigger schools in the region, there's a position for DHM. We also have at Karaburi Primary SM. We have at Karaburi Nursery HM. And over in the Mabaruma sub-region, there is the HM's position available for St. Ninian's Primary, Kachikamo Primary, St. John's Primary. We have Bunbury Nursery, HM position available. St. Anthony's, Kamwata Primary, Whitewater Primary, Hotokwai, Hobadiah, St. Anselm's, Lower Kaituma, Peter and Paul Primary, Cobarimo Primary, St. Dominic's Primary, and these are all small schools, grade E and grade D schools. And you know what I'm noticing also, many have housing available.
Right. It's a
So
great
persons
learning step.
can, yes, so persons can go online, find these schools where they are, and see where housing is available, and try. You never know. You may very well be the next head teacher. So if we move on to, those were some for Region 1. Almond Beach, Wangna Primary, Wangna Nursery, Wangna Primary, HM position is available. Almond Beach Primary, HM position available. So quite a number of vacancies for HM position in Region Number 1. In the riverine areas of Region 2, there's Wakapau, there's a position for SM and HODs, quite a number of HODs also. There's Akawini, which was my village for today, the village profile that I read. There's a position for SM at Akawini Primary. We have Bethany. We have Saxakali, which has positions for both HM and an SM. And I see here housing is available. And in Region 4, we have St. Cuthbert's. St. Cuthbert's Primary has a position available for head teacher. There is Swan, there's Laluni. Up on the highway, these schools have vacancies for head teachers also. In Region 6, Oriala Nursery. Oriala Nursery, which is a grade D nursery, has a position for HM available. Going down to Region number 7, Region 7 also has quite a number of vacancies. In the Lower Maz area, we have SM position at Agatash, HM at Kurutuku, and housing is available at Kurutuku, which is a very small school. We also have Kangaruma, and I think it's Kaikan. So we have positions for HMs. All housing is available in all of these locations. So those locations, Agatash, Kurutuku, no, not Agatash, Kurutuku, Kangaruma, and Kaikan, housing is available. So, and these are very small schools, grade E schools. Philippi Nursery, HM position available. Philippi Primary, HM and SM position is available. We have at Kako Nursery has a vacancy for head teacher. At the primary, there's SM. There's Jawala Primary. At Jawala Primary, there's a position for a head teacher. Jawala is a very big school down that's in the Upper Maz area. The position is available for HM, and house is available. So there's an opportunity for someone to work and serve in the hinterland. Or if we have someone from the community who wishes to apply, they can do so once they meet the criteria. Purima Nursery, that's way up in Purima. HM for the nursery school is available. And then there's Wax Creek, HM, but no housing is available. In Region 8, Monkey Mountain, if you're interested in becoming a head teacher, Monkey Mountain, you can apply. Very beautiful place. It's a grade D school. And some other beautiful places, we have Tusaning, Kamana, Waipa, Kaibarupai. These are all grade E schools. The only at Waipa there's no housing available, but other than that, houses available at all the schools that I just mentioned. There's Arasawa HM, grade E school available. Chiang Maut, no housing available, but there's a HM position that's vacant. Sandy Hills, Chinapau, Karisparu, all HMs available, and they're grade E schools. At Maikobi Nursery, HM position is available at the nursery school. At Maikobi Primary, Maikwak Primary, El Paso Primary, all HMs position are available. And we get down into region number 9. As we get to region 9, we will see that we have quite a number of grade D schools that have positions for HM. Katoka Primary, grade D, HM position. Yupakari Nursery, HM position available, grade D. We have Yupakari Primary, HM and SM. We have Pataranao Nursery, HM position. We have Pataranao Primary. There is Pariquaranao. There is in St. Ignatius, there's a primary HM position, SM position available. There's Napi at Napi Nursery, HM position available. And then as we come closer to central Rupununi, there's a Mokomoka Primary with the HM and SM available. There is Simone HM position available. Katur, Shiriri, Baitun, all grade E schools, HM positions available. And we get down to Kumu. There's Kumu Nursery, HM available. Hayawa Nursery, Parishara Nursery. All these are grade D schools with the HM positions available. And there is Parishara. There is Masara Nursery again, HM available. There is Toka Primary. There is Riwa Primary. There is Ruperti Nursery, Surama Primary. That's quite a number of schools in Region 9 that needs head teachers, schools that need head teachers. Karasabai Primary, SM position is available. Taushida Primary, HM. Tiger Pond Nursery. I'm seeing Yorang Paru Nursery. There's Yorang Paru Primary, Tipuru Nursery, Tipuru Primary, Shia Nursery. Crowdar, that's Cardar now, needs an HM and they need an SM. At the primary, I'm seeing we have on the list Marura now, HM needed, SM needed. Going down the list, there's Awaranao Nursery, HM needed. Awaranao Primary, HM. Rupanao needs an SM. Katunarib needs an HM, Katunarib Nursery, Sawariwao Nursery, Parabara, and Deep South, Conashin. Conashin needs a head teacher also in Region 9. And to close off that segment of schools that are vacant, get down into the river of Region 10. There is the Wiki Kalkuni area. Kalkuni Primary, HM position is available. There's Malali Primary, and there's Murataro Primary. So, Chief, these are some of the schools that have vacancies. But I think the bigger question here would be how do we ensure that persons can apply? And so we know that this is fully online. Application process is fully online, and so some regions have been doing a splendid job at organizing a site where persons can come out. And so I'm gonna say now for Region 1, for example, on Monday coming, persons who are interested can actually come out to Mabaruma. Right. Where they can come to Mabaruma, they will be facilitated. Persons will be available to help with the process. So once they get to Mabaruma, Redo will then provide that assistance in terms of internet. So they can actually log into the region's internet and they can apply at the RDC boardroom or wherever the Redo would put them to do that application. And so on Monday, that is for Mabaruma.
So we want to give a commitment from the Ministry of Education, as we did to the Guyana Teachers Union, and say to everybody there, whether it's Regions 1, 7, 8, or 9, or any other part of the country, the departments of education have been advised that they must provide full cooperation to assist teachers in participating in the promotion process. This is a very historical process. Applications have never been done online before. And so this process is historic in that sense, but it must not be something that prevents somebody from being promoted. So across the country, we will work with the Deputy Chief, Mr. De Souza, and we will establish not only in Mabaruma, but we will establish satellite sites around the country, even on the coast, where teachers can go and get assistance to apply to be a part of this process. We do not want to eliminate anyone.
Right. So even so in Region 1, as I was saying, there's the Mabaruma site. That's on Monday coming. So persons who need assistance, that is, if you need assistance, you can come out to the Department of Education. They'll be providing that. On Wednesday, there is in Matakai sub-region at Port Kaituma. Right. Persons can come out to Port Kaituma, maybe at the primary or the secondary school. I think there's internet at the secondary school. But more importantly, why it might be a wise thing for them to come out in groups is that they can help each other.
Right.
So they can fall back if, let us say, persons are applying for different positions, they need help, they can simply, within that group, ask each other and work it out together.
Or they could ask us, because we have a number of helplines, I guess you're coming to?
Yes, that's what we're going to be coming to next. And on Friday, Moruca would be having their days at Santa Rosa Secondary. So persons who wish to come out and apply can do so at Santa Rosa Secondary. They can ask for assistance. So we have some numbers that we will be sharing with you, and I will ask Chief to just relate to you what those numbers are so you can maybe pick up your pen and make a note of who these numbers, what we call the helpers.
So these are persons who you can text. It's available from Monday to Friday from 8 to 8 and from on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 6. And so there are 9 numbers. I'm just going to give you maybe 4. You can try 680-0355 or maybe 639-2147. Here is another 626-8803, or you can try 696-1699. So the Ministry of Education will issue a public statement tonight with all the new information, and this will be circulated to head teachers across the country. The information will be there as to who you can contact if there is a need for assistance. But we remain committed to ensuring, especially in the hinterlands, that as many teachers as possible apply for this for these vacancies.
Definitely. And they can also make contact with us. I mean, if someone has a number, for example, a chief education officer, and they're online and they don't have any number at a point in time, but they may have chief's number
So
in their phone.
I'll give that. I have no issues giving that. My number is 686-3512, and I'm available almost 24 hours a day. Please text me and let me assist you in whatever way I can to be a part of this process. We need the teachers to apply.
We certainly do. And my number is also out there. It's 679-5507. Feel free to message. And even if we cannot help at that point in time, we will find someone who will be able to help, because we want, once you're online, or start a process, we want to ensure that you get down to the end of that process. So feel free to reach out to us at the numbers that Chief would have shared with you. They're all available from 8 to 8. That is very important. So even if you get home in the afternoon and you are able to connect your laptop from your through the cell phone, the hotspot, and you're online and it's 7:30, and you want some help, feel free to reach out to any one of those numbers that we would have shared with you. If you have my number, you can send me a message, and we will be trying as best as possible to help you along the way. All right, so let me see if there's any other bit of information I want to share with you. We will have a run on next week, Monday, if I may.
Yes.
Next week, Monday, we will have a continuation of this process. By then, I'm hopeful that many of you would have applied. But even then, if come next Monday, you still have some issues, you still have some problems, we will be back on radio. I think by then we will have another person on board with us, and they will be taking questions and, as much as possible, trying to help you along the way. So it's just about 6 hours. That's 18 hours 59. We're going to be wrapping shortly. But I can tell you a little bit about some of the internet sites that you may wish to go if you want to apply. We know that in Region 7, in Upper Maz area, they're very, very much challenged by the internet in that location. But what I would advise you is to try in Camarang. In Camarang, you can try opening your hotspot. You can try the hotspot from your phone to your laptop, and you should be able to get on in Camarang using the Digicel's signal up there. There are some sites in let me see, in Purima. Purima has internet at the primary school. So there's a position for the nursery HM. So if there's someone in the village who want to apply for that, then they can do so at the primary school. There's also internet at Jawala. So if the internet up there is working, I was told it was working. So persons who wish to apply and they're living in Jawala can, I think you'd have to make contact with the village council up there in Jawala. Philippi, Kaikan. Kaikan, I'm told Kaikan has internet, and Kaikan, the position for HM is available. So if there's someone in Kaikan who wishes to apply, then they can use the internet that is available up there in Kaikan. In that's region 7. In region 8, let me see, Monkey Mountain. eGov is available in Monkey Mountain, but the persons who are applying, I would advise them to apply in the evenings, because during the day, many persons are using it. And it can get kind of slow during the day, but in the evenings, you can go on there and apply. Kato. Cato Primary. Persons who wish to apply for positions can actually come to Cato. The internet, I was there a couple of weeks back, and the internet was actually really good. So we have that available. That's at Cato. That's at the village office. Internet is available at Cato. So all the villages around Cato, and if you're hearing us, you can go down to Cato and use the service that's available. Reach out to us if you're having any difficulty with the process. Kaibaropai, I'm told Kaibaropai has internet. We'll have to check that out. But Curacabaro has really good internet. So the last I was there, it was working as a couple of weeks ago. Very strong internet, so you can go to Curacabaro if you're living in maybe at Arasawa. I think I see vacancy at Arasawa. And the villages around, you can come down to Curacabaro to use the internet to apply. Let us see, Kopinang, there's internet in Kopinang, there's internet in Madia. In Mykobi, there is Digicel in Mykobi, so you might want to try the hotspot and the positions for HM of the nursery and HM of the primary is available in Mykobi. All right, so those are just some sites, but if you need any further guidance, any further details, feel free to reach out to those numbers that we shared with you. You can reach out to me or to my office. You can reach out to the CEO himself, and we will be more than willing to assist. You can even reach out to your union. I think Mr. Mark Light has indicated he's also very, very much willing to assist. So
yes,
so
absolutely.
reach out,
Yeah.
reach out. This we want as many persons as possible to apply. So we are looking forward to you going online and filling in those applications. As we wrap things on our show today, so quickly time has gone from us. Any closing remarks from you, Chief, as we wrap the show this afternoon?
So I remind our audience 686-3512. We are committed to ensuring that everybody applies. If there is an issue, please contact us and let us ensure that we get this done. But we appeal to you to do the application and let's move this process forward. Thanks.
Right, so there you've had it. We want to thank you so much for being with us. We will be back next week, Monday, for a continuation of this discourse on the online application process. I want to thank all our listeners for tuning in. We did not have an opportunity to answer your questions. Let me see.
So,
maybe
Marty, what you can do is
Sure.
forward those questions to us and let us respond to them one by one tomorrow from our
Certainly.
secretariat.
Certainly. Right, so I will be doing that, and we will be reaching out to you, of course. Once again, this is Marti de Souza, your host on Hinterland Spotlight. We will be back next Monday with you. I want to wish you all the best for the rest of the evening, and this is where we have to part ways with you until I see you again, until you hear from me again. You be good, stay well. Until then, bye-bye.
Bauxite, you know that we have that. Oh, oil, diamond, and gold. Beautiful people from country to town, sharing their love with everyone all around. Down by the country, amazing lifestyle. Down in the city, people going by. So many seas, you wanna just capture. I love my country and will love it forever. Oh my Guyana, so many ways I wanna tell you I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh dear Guyana, with all of my heart you know that I adore you. Forever will. Oh my Guyana, so many ways I wanna tell you I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh dear Guyana, with all of my heart you know that I adore you. Forever will. Oh dear Guyana.
Hi, this is Quinita Walrand Lewis, Director of the National Center for Educational Resource Development, and you are listening to EduFM, the home of family edutainment.
Soon there came a flock of crows who settled on his back to feed on the dung. The donkey began to kick and did not stop until many of the birds fell to the ground dead. He went into the creek and bathed it until the dung was all washed off. Then he picked up his catch and went home. The jaguar was amazed. He had not caught as many birds. He was very angry, but the donkey had won the competition.